One of my favorite new partners is Warrior Salt. We talk on the show. We're trying to empower you to mind, body, and energy. Energy starts with being hydrated. Let me tell you, after a workout and if you're eating a healthy diet, it's hard to get enough sodium. Well, you wouldn't believe it. We were coached for so long that sodium's bad, but that's why I love this partner. No BS, just electrolytes. They keep it simple. We're talking about fruit powder and salt. There's no stevia, no citric acid, none of the bad stuff, just the stuff you need to stay hydrated. That's what I'm doing. I go to a workout, before workout, after workout. You need it both. If you're thirsty, you've waited too long. That's the point. With Warrior Salt, again, it's all about simple hydration that you need without anything that you don't want. One of the official partners here of Vibe Science as we take you to your highest vibe.
None of us is rich enough to buy cheap products or poorly made products, although it's in this beautiful packaging and they sell it for $3,000. Yeah, there are creams like that for $3,000 online. Profit is good. Everybody wants profit, right? But the profit should come with quality. Profit should come with results, because you can save the day with your profit today with a poorly made product. However, in the long run, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting everybody else. So I don't think that's ethical. You don't need to touch your face every 5 seconds when you're doing skincare. You don't need 10 steps. And multitasking and multi-targeted cream or any skincare product can help you, and that's enough. And the main point in skincare is prevention and combating the possible problems or challenges that might happen down the road. So you're taking a precaution at the beginning. So it's a more cheaper approach, actually, than plastic surgery 5 years later, you know?
Right.
This is Vibe Science, a top 100 wellness podcast presented by the Radcast Network, breaking wellness barriers and making health truly personal. Here are your hosts, Ryan Alford and Chris Hansen.
Hello, and welcome to Vibe Science. We're always here to take you to your highest vibe. Mind, body, energy, that's what we say. We know it is about all three. And we're going to focus on one area today. I think we might go a little deeper, puns intended, all around today. I'm telling you, I'm in that kind of mood, people. Just be ready for it. It is Vibe Science. And we've always got my best friend, my good buddy, Chris Hansen. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Brian? How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to get my skin layers on. This is going to be a layered conversation.
We're going deeper than skin deep today.
I know. We've got Dr. Ebru with us. What's up, Doc? How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, Dr. Ebru Karpuzoglu. I got it. Yes.
Yes.
You never know the names. All we know is we want them. We want good, knowledgeable people doing amazing things in health and wellness, no matter how hard their names might be to pronounce until you hear them say it. Dr. Ebru, right down the road in Atlanta, Hotlanta.
Oh, yeah.
How is Hotlanta?
Rainy and about to rain even more.
That time of year, April showers,
yeah.
Bring May flowers.
Depressive. And also everywhere is yellow.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah, it is yellow. Pollen in the south is no bueno.
Yeah.
No bueno. My car is covered in it. Everything's covered in it. But I tell you what, Doc, I've enjoyed reading your story. I want you to share kind of that journey to the importance of what you're doing in skincare with your products and things like that. But I do think the story that got you there is compelling. So I'd love to set the table for the audience and you sort of sharing what kind of guided you towards this direction in your field and in your passions around skincare.
Sure. Well, we had a little discussion before we got on the podcast, and these guys both know that I'm a nerd. So I am a nerd, to be honest. And I'm an immunologist and molecular medicine expert. But how everything started was long nights and very stressful days. And during my PhD, my research was how estrogen impacted the immune system. Basically, why women have stronger immune system and why do they get more autoimmune diseases. And, all those long nights, all those research, of course, led to a lot of stress. It's not easy. And I start breaking out, and I went to get some skincare for myself. And when you're a student, everything is expensive, you know? But I was desperate. And so I went to the mall, got this minty green skincare line, and I'm not going to say the brand name. And I got it, and I used it for a week. And then my husband said, "Your face looks gray." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And I really looked at my face. My face was gray. I mean, grayish. So I called my mom. She's a pathologist. I freaked out. I was like, "Mom, my face is gray." And she was like, "Stop everything. Stop everything. You're reacting." And I kind of got mad because I spent all that money. You trust to this big conglomerate company thinking that they did all the research. My acne wasn't gone. It was worse, and I was gray. I mean, even my professor was like, "You kind of look weird today." I'm like, "I know. Don't say anything. I know what's going on." So I started reading into it, researching. I had all this background in immunology, biochemistry, molecular medicine, everything, dermatology. So I started reading. And I kind of figured out what was going on. And I started, working also on cosmetic chemistry. And that's how it led to kind of skincare. And also at the background, I knew why I was breaking out, because I was under a lot of stress, which kind of suppressed my immune system. And I was going through lots of inflammation. So it wasn't fun. So this is how everything started, kind of.
It's interesting to me with skincare, especially. I mean, as we've done this show and we try to bring knowledge to people, how personal every journey is. And the challenge is, like, I can't speak to the brand that you were naming. I remember the mint green bottles, though. My I think girlfriends or wives over the years have had. I remember seeing them, but it's like, what works for one doesn't work for all. And I don't know. We don't even always know what's going into all these things. It's like the great mystery of, how is this tested and how and who? Was it an animal, a person, or I don't know. It's past my comprehension of what it takes to bring something to bear at this level on like skincare, because it's so. I don't know. I don't know why. I guess when you pop a pill, it feels like it's internal and you don't see it. The skin you see every day.
Yeah.
Right? It's complicated.
It is complicated. And it's complicated on several levels because, as you said, you're seeing the changes one-on-one.
Yeah.
Personally. And there is a mental aspect to it. There's stress aspect to it, because when you see your face breaking out, that doesn't make you happy. You're getting even more stressful. And today they don't test on animals anymore, except if the brand is going to China, they have to test it because China wants animal testing. But however, today with the technology and all the developments in the skincare and the cosmetic industry, you don't need to do animal tests anymore. So that's the beauty of it. And you have a very, very good point there. I don't know what's getting into it. So with the bigger companies, yes, it's harder to know. That's why the indie beauty companies came out saying that we can offer something better. We can bring the science faster, because the bigger companies, the conglomerates, is like a freight train. It's going. And the whole thing is profit. So they already produced the products. They already got the ingredients in, the largest quantity possible to get the least amount of money they need to pay. But what happens is you have all this product. You can't change it. You can't make a new product. It takes too much time and too much money on their side. However, for an indie brand or a smaller company, they can regenerate or upgrade the product faster compared to a bigger product. So, and they're more transparent, and you have actually a person to talk to over there. Like, you send an email, somebody will respond to you. But if you email to a big, huge luxury company, who's going to email you? You don't know.
Yep, exactly. And It's the key phrase that or statement you just said there is like profit over, I don't know, true results is what it sometimes feels like. It's like, what are you paying for? Is it truly having the outcomes that people expect? And
Mhm.
I think I'm hearing that's a lot of where your passion lies.
I like results. Who doesn't like results? I mean,
Yeah, go figure.
yeah, but none of us is rich enough to buy cheap products or poorly made products, although it's in this beautiful packaging and they sell it for $3,000. Yeah, there are creams like that for $3,000 online. But that's not the case, you know? Um, Profit is good. Everybody wants profit, right? But the profit should come with quality. Profit should come with results because you can save the day with your profit today with a poorly made product. However, in the long run, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting everybody else. So I don't think that's ethical.
No, it's not. It's just but unfortunately, it's reality we live in. But I think the the key here, skin. We talk about, I made the joke earlier, like skin deep and all that. But you nailed something that I think is really important. And I think, especially as it relates to this show, as we talk about mind, body, energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't look good in your own eye, you run into mental roadblocks and challenges and depression. And, we can all get in the, like skin deep of like beauty and all that. I'm not talking about like beautiful, but at least feeling good about, if you've got breakouts or you have other things going on with your skin. It's like a starting block. Cause I mean, like when you look in the mirror every day, if you don't like what's looking you back, it's just amazing the psychology and how your psyche goes through like that experience and how it processes that and how it impacts everything else because of the stress or the doubt or all these things. Cause we're all, aware of how we look. We stare in mirrors all day, every day. They're in every bathroom. And it's just so important to start there with understanding that people, I don't know, for right, wrong, or indifferent, you get judged kind of by the way you look and the quality of your skin. And so it matters both with your health, but it also seems to it can play an underlying health role too, because it's
Mm-hmm.
usually from something else, right? That's causing the skin to have issues.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what you said is completely true. First of all, the perception. And second of all, judgment, right? Usually we're the hardest judges of ourselves. I do this to myself as well. I look at myself like, oh, the hair doesn't look good. Who cares? Do you feel good? That's the point, right? But unfortunately, with the society also going through the social media and everything, we are judging ourselves harsher than ever. We're looking at this influencer and saying, oh my God, look at her lifestyle. She's making everything from scratch. Who has the time to make everything from scratch, for God's sakes? I don't, and nobody does. But that comes to the skincare. Like, everybody's skin is going to look different and going to handle stress differently. But at the end of the day, it comes to how it's reflected outside. Like what kind of stress, what kind of changes you're going through inside is also reflected outside. And that mirrors to your skin. So the mind body challenge is real. It is real. I mean, we call it mental health, and it's a scary word, like for some, because it sounds like, oh my God, they're gonna put me in the loony bin. No, no, you could be stressed every day. Stress is a mental challenge, and we're being bombarded every day. Oh my God, 2025 has been hard. It was been harder than 2024, and everybody is going through this. So you're right. It is deeper than skin.
How I know your father went through some treatments that
Hmm.
impacted sort of your journey into skincare. I'd love for you to touch on that story a bit and how it's impacted what you created.
Sure. He passed away 4 years ago. He was a transplant surgeon. First, he was a general surgeon, then a transplant surgeon. He did kidney transplantations. He's the first surgeon who started live to live transfers kidney transplants in Turkey.
Wow.
And he founded this university and all that. He's pretty famous over there. So, and his style was like Frank Sinatra. Okay, he's that era style, the hats and the aftershave and everything. Of course, as everybody goes through, he got lung cancer, and he had to go through a very, very harsh treatment. Also here in Sloan Kettering in New York, and his doctor over there said you have to use creams and moisturizers because your skin is drier than before. So he used to use a certain brand, and he told me, I'm out of it. Can you bring me some when you're coming down? And I was like, okay. And I took it back home, and he put it on, and he broke out. Red hives. I mean, it's bad. And he's yelling at me. It's like, you brought me the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. And side note, surgeons are the toughest patients ever, and they never like anything. And they're amazing, but they're really hard, very hard guys. So he's like, on my case, I was like, Dad, it's the same thing. We're looking at the ingredients and stuff. The only thing that's different is the lot number. And this is from a really, really big company, by the way, in the United States. So only thing I can think of is they used maybe a different lot of ingredient and he's breaking out to that. But there's no way of knowing it, right? So I gave him my cream at the time, and I said, this calms my skin down. Do you want to try it? He's like, fine, give it to me. And he puts it on. I ran to my room, and I'm watching movies and stuff. Like 40 minutes or so, he calls me. Like, Ebru, come down here. I'm like, oh, God, I'm in trouble. I go to his room. He shows his inner arm, and he says, what did you do? I'm like, what did I do? And he was like, the redness is gone. Sit down, tell me what you did. So we went through all the science and everything. And then he said, you're onto something, kid. Keep on doing this. You need to share this. So this is how it started. And he was my harshest critic. I'm not kidding you. I mean, whatever I do, he would be like, no, research-wise, you need to do this. It was like, this is my research. And he was like, no, I know this. So yeah, that's how it started.
Nothing like a real life family patient slash tester for what's going on. And a father, your father and your mother are, no wonder you say you're nerdy or whatever. You guys have a lot of brain power, it sounds like, in the combined family there.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom is a pathologist / oncologist. And, it was like when I was doing my PhD, I would call them and tell them, it's like, I'm doing this. And Mom would say, did you look at these genes? So I was like, oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, I'll look at those too,
What is the biggest thing that, your skincare line, Avicina?
Yes.
Like I'm saying that right? Getting all my phrasing correct. Who's it for? And obviously it started here in this experience with your father, but who's it to serve, and what, what are some of the, product lines there?
Sure. So Avicina has been built to combat the signs of inflammaging, right? So inflammaging comes from two words, inflammation plus aging. And inflammaging happens at a chronic micro level, especially when you're very stressed with different lifestyles and everything. So everybody goes through this at one point in their lives, and some of us go through every day, unfortunately. So that is suffice to say that nobody is immune from sensitive skin, because inflammaging also causes sensitive skin. So Avicina has been designed with this in mind, that you can get sensitized any day, and you can prevent this before it happens. And we only have 6 products, a cream, cleanser, an oil, serum, mask. And the reason for only 6 products is I don't want you to touch your face too much. Remember the COVID days where we were using masks and breaking out and getting irritated? You don't need to touch your face every 5 seconds when you're doing a skincare. You don't need 10 steps. And multitasking and multi-targeted cream or any skincare product can help you, and that's enough. And also, buying too many products has, one, it irritates you at the end of the day because it adds up. There's a lot of ingredients there that it adds up and accumulates on your face. That's one. Second of all, you're paying more money at the end of the day. As I said, I'm not rich enough to buy cheap products. So that's how we designed Avicina. It should be cost effective per use. It should be multi-targeting. It should be multifunctional. And it should be one product.
Is there an ideal target for the product as far as like who sees the most success from it? Or is it meant to be like, all in one for someone just in general skincare?
Yeah. Who sees the most use from it? The one who actually uses the skincare. Because us women, and I'm guilty of that too, by the way, we like to buy stuff and we don't finish it. But however, there is also a biological truth to this because your skin regenerates every 4 to 6 weeks. So don't expect the cream to do a change in 24 hours. Yeah, it may look nice and soft, but the real change is not going to happen before you finish that jar of cream in 4 weeks. So anybody who has a real skincare regime and wants to see changes, we talk to them. That's what Avicina is for. But if you want to apply it one time and put it on the side, I would say don't buy it because you're not going to see what it can make for you.
But is it like for acne prone people or is it meant to help knock that out?
Well, acne prone can use our skincare products too. And when they email us, we can tell them buy this, buy that, or try this. We also have a trial kit. They can try that. Usually we talk, our skincare line is above 30 plus. And it's not only for women, it's also for men because my husband steals my cream every 5 seconds. So yeah, I'm like,
hey, you gotta have a good moisturizer,
Yeah, he steals it basically, and he takes the oil away, and I'm like, where's my oil?
Chris, what's your experience on the skincare side?
I've been sitting here thinking about this the whole time we're talking. Like, as a man and growing up in the like Axe body spray, Old Spice marketing days, where it was like, I look back at that and I'm like, it was all so unhealthy, all these body washes and even the shaving creams, but I think obviously as a man, you're not as in tune with your skincare, especially in your 20s as women. And it really has been the last 2 years that I've really started kind of getting into skincare. And it was one of our sponsors, Caldera Labs, that I started using. And I am proud to say I have a skincare regimen now. I stick to it. It's, I think, like a 3-step process. It's pretty simple, but and obviously as we get older, and I'm 36 now, I'm being a little bit more cognizant of my skincare, but it's just,
he doesn't have to worry about those wrinkles that I do.
What wrinkles? I don't see wrinkles.
I just think it's something that as a man, we're not talked about enough. You don't you don't go to a derm unless you're like, oh, I think I have a sunspot, something that may be cancerous. It's never like, I have never once ever had a conversation with a friend that's a man like about skincare ever. I mean, I think it's becoming more of a topic now, and even, we had another guest earlier, just more holistic dentistry and oil pulling, for example. I just think the general public, we're becoming a lot more, interested in our own health, our own, what are we doing? And even Ryan nailed it for me. The biggest thing I've learned in the last 2-3 years is just your skin is a reflection of other things going on too, and stress was one of those things that, you're right, it's a constant battle. That's like a lifelong kind of battle. And I look at it now, if something's bothering my skin, I almost look at it as an indicator of, okay, what else is going on? Do you need to go meditate or something? Go take a walk on the beach? Like there might be more than just, oh, I have a pimple, right? So I look at it a little bit deeper than skin now, throw a little pun in there with Ryan. But I'm fascinated by all of it. And I think it's,
But But it's true. I mean, it is deeper than skin. Completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's chemical. It's what you eat. It's what, how you
like
think.
putting it all together, right? Understanding it's all one. And I think that's empowering too, of just, hey, you need to look at other parts of your life if your skin is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would venture to say a lot of it from my experience and people I've talked to, it was diet or stress, like emotional factors.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, how should people, I know like we'll have all this in the show notes, your website, stuff like that. You've got the skin test and the skin quiz. But I mean, for our listeners, what are ways that they should evaluate their skin? Like, obviously, when you have acne, it's like obvious. Oh, I got a acne breakout or something like that. Like, that's obvious. But Chris was just talking about sunspots or different things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how would you counsel or tell people, they should evaluate their skin or ways that they can, I don't know, think about it, look at it differently?
Sure. I mean, it's one of the things that people realize right away is how tired it looks, the first change. And sometimes if you have a skin that's more oily, you would see more oil coming up, more pores look bigger, everything adds up. So if you realize that change right away, you can take precautions, and it's a good thing. For example, the eyes will look more puffy, sometimes darker circles around, little wrinkles around the eyes, that kind of thing. So it's good to take precautions. But what Chris said, if you start sunspots or some growth happening, then I would definitely recommend going and seeing a dermatologist, because that may indicate other problems that are not like cancerous development or something like that. Definitely see a dermatologist for that. So it's good to check up on yourself from time to time, and don't let other people to come say, "Oh, you look so tired." I'm like, I know. Well, like, tell me something I don't know. But it is fixable. And the main point in skincare is prevention and combating the possible problems or challenges that might happen down the road. So you're taking a precaution at the beginning. So it's a more cheaper approach, actually, than plastic surgery 5 years later,
Right.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think that's a key point there, is like, yeah, you can fix it once it's gone, so that far, but a lot of stuff is preventable with the right everyday treatment, and like thinking about it and planning for it. I think, and men are the worst for that. I mean, Chris nailed it. Men, I think, don't make enough time for it. I think we've gotten, Chris and I are on camera a lot. I think we care what we look like, but I used to think it was the weirdest thing. I can admit this. 10 years ago, I've been using moisturizer probably for 10 years, but like 10 years ago, I didn't use moisturizer because I thought it was weird to put like
lotion on.
A lotion. And
it was
I
like
know it was
feminine.
dermatologic. It just felt like, okay, I'm putting this on my face. Like, what is this doing? And now, I couldn't imagine not using it because I can feel the difference. But it's as much education as anything.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it was focused on the females first, on the women first. And then men has the same skin. Why not use the same thing? It doesn't work that way. You need moisturizer. You will use a moisturizer. There's nothing. It's human. It's human. You need it. You use it. You fix it. That's it. But again, it's about the social pressure.
Yeah. It was feminized. Like when I thought of, and some was just my life. I had older sisters. They shave their legs. They put on a lotion every night. It was just like a woman's routine thing. Like my dad definitely wasn't in there putting lotion on his legs. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And maybe a second layer of Old Spice. But
exactly. Or some Brute, it wasn't, he definitely didn't have his leg up on the counter, putting lotion on. So and even, in sports, like, and I can even attest this to this day in the locker room at the gym I go to. At the sinks, they have bottles of lotion, shaving cream, everything. I'd say maybe 1 out of 10 men I see put lotion on, now that I really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And even me, I've become a lotion guy the last 2 years, and I'm sitting here right now. I've literally been looking at my legs, and I'm like, oh man, I need to put some lotion on before I get out of here.
But that also impacts the sunscreen usage. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, because now I think the last 10 years, men are using more sunscreen, which is
Yes.
good because you don't want to get skin cancer.
Yeah.
But before that, when I was a teenager, us girls, we would use the sunscreen. But when you give it to your guy friends, the boys, they were like, nah, I don't want it. It's like, you are going to have sunburn. It's going to hurt like hell. Are you crazy? And they were like, nah.
So I have all these freckles on my back from growing up
Yeah.
on the beach in Florida because I'm like, no, I'm too cool for that. And then, the next day you're like,
oh yeah, remember you have to like peel, sunburn and everything. That's not fun.
No.
no.
I grew up, I don't burn. If I sit out for 24 hours, I'm sure I would, but we have naturally more olive skin, so I get tan quickly, but I had finally started using front sunscreen because it doesn't mean that it's not dangerous or I shouldn't be using it. And I think that's where, we have to get past what is visible as the guide for definitively what's best for us, right? It's like, sometimes what you can't see is the problem.
It is. It is a problem. And sometimes it's a blessing because if that problem becomes visible somehow before it becomes a bigger problem and you have a warning, you have time to solve that problem. So it's good to listen to yourself. It's good to look at your skin and say, there's a change on my skin. Why is that? And just not say, I'm not going to look at it today. Just look at it, listen to yourself. And sometimes your intuition also tells you, like, this doesn't look right. This doesn't feel right. Take a minute and have a listen to that intuition. It's usually right.
What are some other misconceptions or things that, people are not getting right in overall skincare and sort of taking care of that overall, routine?
Well, the routine is you need to be careful. Let's talk about the routine first. You need to be careful not to mix certain ingredients and certain products just because TikTok trends told you so. So, for example, you can't mix an acidic toner with retinol. You can't use it on the same day. You're just going to hurt yourself. You can't use an acidic toner every day. You're going to disturb your skin microbiome and everything else down there, and you're going to have more problems at the end. So that's one of the problems. Second of all, please stop following trends, TikTok trends. I'm going to tell you one trend. There was a girl who took her poop and applied to her face and said her face looks amazing after that. I'm like, literal poop. I'm not kidding you.
I think I heard about this.
Oh my God.
Oh, I watched it. It was
Somebody
scary.
probably trolled her. And
was it real? Was she being serious or was she trolling?
It was her real poop.
Ugh.
The only way I can think
disgusting.
Yeah, maybe there's urea in there and that's what's doing it. Uric acid and whatnot. That's why I can't find another reason why she would like this. And it should smell really bad. It's bacteria in there. But these trends are too much. And also another thing in skincare. So we have clean skincare, right? And everybody wants natural. Everybody wants organic. And I need to state this and underline it. Not everything natural is good. Not everything synthetic is bad. Combination of both is really good. So you need to do your research. Please don't go for the trends. If an influencer says something, put a question mark. Do your own research. That's all I'm going to say about this.
Sometimes less is more.
Right? Exactly. That less is more is coming from architecture. It's an architectural. Yeah.
Oh, they as a design or as
it's a design. In the 60s or 70s, one of the architectural guys said less is more and started designing
Clean
like
lines.
simpler.
Yeah, simple effect. Well, I mean, I think that's what it's about. I mean, it's like keep it simple, but you got to start with the right ingredients, clearly,
Yes.
and it's not poop.
No, we don't want
Yuck.
poop.
Oh my goodness. What's the future hold for where you guys are going with the company? Like innovative things, or just obviously you're keeping it simple but effective. I mean, what are you excited about?
So, I'm excited about more and more people are seeing it, seeing the science, and we were the first one in the inflammaging, science of inflammaging in the beauty industry, and there's more and more companies coming up now trying to solve this problem. Actually, one of my friends asked me, "Is like, would you get mad if I showed you another company trying to solve inflammaging?" I said, "No, I don't get mad. This is a good thing because we're going from top to bottom now." It's just we need to have a coherent voice based on science. So, what excites me about all this, more science is coming, real science is coming, which is good. And for the company, we are focusing on different devices now, and new things are coming soon. And we have one of the first devices was an UV shield facial analyzer that shows you if you applied the sunscreen correctly. We didn't want another sunscreen. We wanted to see if you're doing it correctly, so if you're protected completely. I
Mm,
think that's more important. And then we're gonna have a new equipment coming soon, but I can't reveal it before we put
mm,
it out. But it's gonna be really, really cool.
that's great. And I love inflammaging. Did you coin that, or was that already an
No,
industry
no,
standard?
it's actually by Franceschi, and it was published in 2000 by that group. He's from Italy, and they were seeing these changes. So, inflammation. Everybody thinks in the industry inflammation is bad, but without the inflammation, we would be dead because inflammation protects you against the microbes that come into your body. The key is inflammation needs to kill the bacteria, get rid of all the culprits, do the healing, and go back to its normal levels, basal levels. But the chronic inflammation is always there, like during autoimmunity or other cases, and you don't want that. So that will work against you and it will hurt your tissues. And then the inflammaging is in between. That's the micro level. It's always there and you don't see it, but it's an additive effect. So your lifestyle choices, your stress, uh, even having fast food every day would induce that kind of inflammation. So, I also want to get back to what you guys stand for, the mind and the body. That's why I love meditations. Actually, there's a lot of papers about that on PubMed. You can see how meditation helps decrease telomerase activity, how it decreases pro-inflammatory cytokines. So it's a real thing. It was a woo-woo maybe 10 years ago, but the research is there to support it. So that's another thing we're trying to do is create free meditations and put it on our social media. So if you want to, you can go and do it. Actually, our team did a rose meditation on me and roasted me. And here's why. Because I'm into roses these days. I'm planting a lot of roses. It keeps me out of trouble, and I like seeing them grow. So they made this really funny meditation saying that go into your garden. Don't worry about how many roses you have or how much money you invested, blah, blah, blah. And they put it on social media. I was like, okay, fine. So we're a happy bunch. We're a funny bunch here.
That's fun. Where can everybody learn more about everything you guys are doing and yourself, Dr. Ebru?
Sure. They can come visit us on our website, avesena.com. It's AVESEENA.com. They can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and with you guys.
Yes, exactly. We'll be promoting this all over. You can watch it on YouTube or, of course, Spotify, Apple, or at vibescience.com, ideally. So you'll get all the insights there. Chris, any final thoughts here?
Take care of your skin. Follow your gut.
Oh, yeah.
I need to go see a dermatologist. That's what I've concluded from this episode.
Yes, he said. Thank you so much, doctor, for coming on.
Thank you so much, Ryan and Chris, for having me. This is amazing.
Hey guys, you know to find us, vibescience.com. You'll find all the highlight clips, the full episode, and links to everything that Dr. Ebru is doing. Take care of your skin. It's way more than just skin deep. You know that. We know that. Keep your vibes high, just like we do for you. We'll see you next time on Vibe Science.
The content discussed on this show is provided for reference and educational purposes. The content is not an attempt to practice medicine or provide specific medical advice. Always consult your personal physician for medical advice and proper diagnosis.
Thanks for listening. This is Vibe Science. To learn more or watch full episodes, visit vibesciencepodcast.com. Here's to discovering your highest vibe.